Hello, Podsmashers of the Internet.
Welcome to a special, extra, tidbit episode of
80-Bit Podsmash,
where gaming goes to grab a beer. We are talking about Ready Player One tonight. We're going to give you guys a little extra bonus 10-minute or so little content blip of what we thought of Ready Player One. We saw it Friday.
Yes, we saw it together Friday.
We did, on opening night. After having interviewed, it wasn't really an interview, it was a discussion. With a cosplay extraordinaire, YouTube sensation. Shut up, Kristen.
She's not joining us for this, but we will get her thoughts later and have her send them to us. Maybe we can post them on Reddit or something. So we'll get you all her thoughts. But in the meantime, we wanted to give you guys our review, our quick, because we talked a lot about preview of it. We talked a lot about the book, and we talked a lot about our hopes for the movies, what we were expecting from the movie. And now, after having seen it, a week or so later, we can talk about it. So.
And forewarning, this is a completely spoiler-full discussion.
Yes.
So please, if you haven't seen the movie or read the book and you don't want anything spoiled, stop listening.
Yep.
But you're not missing anything because this should be pretty short.
Yes. So, and as a bonus episode, it's not going to come with all the trappings of a full episode. We're not going to do favorite things. We're not going to do a DLC. We're just going to talk about that movie. Please take it away.
Well, please give us some feedback about what you think about this, because this will be the foundation for which we look at future content and like producing small little tidbits for you guys here and there. So if you like this, let us know in comments and stuff. We are on 80-Bit Podsmash on Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, and you can also email us. We're pretty much everywhere. 80-Bit Podsmash, no uppercases, lowercases, dashes, etc. And 80bitpodsmash.com is our landing website. You can find us on Google Play and iTunes there.
Yes, give us all the feedback, all the upvotes, whatever, however, likes, shiny clicks, shoo-balabas. I love shoo-balabas. Give us the shoo-balabas.
Shoo-balabas.
All right, we are 2 minutes into our bonus content, so let's go ahead and take it away. What are your initial thoughts?
Okay, did I like the movie? I want to answer that question first. Did we like it? And I'm talking, so I liked it. I thought it was good. I like an 8 out of 10 good, right? It was a good movie. It gave me all of the feels and excitement that Back to the Future did when it had first come out. The difference was Back to the Future didn't have a book, and it didn't have any hype for me. I discovered it on TV randomly as a kid and fell in love immediately with... I mean, they're both produced by Spielberg, which is... I mean, it is. But Ready Player One felt like Back to the Future to me. The music and like the pacing of it all and kind of the funness of it all, which did not match the books, and that's a different... We'll talk about that in a minute, like whether or not it lined up with the book or not. But just as a general theme, tone, concise story, and plot, character development, I do have some nitpicky things. We'll talk about it, but I liked it.
Okay. I am probably a little bit more negative about it. The more I've sat and thought on it, the more I actually dislike it. And I'll get into more of those reasons, but my initial impressions were, I would agree with you, it's very fun. It definitely captured the pace of the book, I think, well. Like, I mean, it was much faster paced than the book was, but it didn't really capture the essence of what I thought made the book great. I don't have a problem with the references. A lot of critics are slamming it for the references, like, oh, there's just one constant string of references after another, and I think that that's unfair because that's what the book is. If you don't like that in a movie, then don't go see or read the book. Like
that's what Ready Player One.
That's what it is. Like, it is totally member berries. Like, it's a complete member berries story.
That's a good reference.
So a good reference right there. So if that's not your cup of tea, then that's, so I don't have a problem with that. What I didn't like was it just felt like a shallow version of the story, if that makes sense. Like, they really watered down a lot of the parts and a lot of the characters that I thought had some really good opportunity to show up on the big screen. And the other thing that I don't feel like it captured is it didn't really capture the Indiana Jones kind of feel of the adventure of the hunt, the Easter egg hunt. It didn't. The book really felt like search for the Holy Grail, in this case, and the movie just didn't really capture that for me. That said, like, it was fun. I thought the characters were all very, very well performed. I thought they were all very well brought to life, very well on the screen. It was a surprise for me that Simon Pegg was in it, and he played Ogden Morrow, the friend. Like, that was That was very well done. I do feel like they minimized his role in a way that I didn't like, but he still did a great job as Ogden Morrow. I thought the actress who played Artemis was phenomenal.
Yeah, she did a really good job.
I didn't really like how her character was written in this, but so I have mixed feelings, but her performance was spot on. Like, she was a perfect Artemis in and out of the game world.
Yeah.
Wade's actor, he adequate.
Yeah.
But the the actress
was awesome.
She was perfect. She probably stole the show.
In the trailers, I was like, no, you spoiled that she's a girl because they showed who she is.
Yeah.
And I don't know the actress name, but she was Denise in
Master of None.
Mm-hmm. And so we saw she was a girl. She drove the van in the trailers, and we're like, no, they spoiled it. But then when you saw the movie, they really did do the reveal.
They did. They tried to. They definitely kept it in there.
And if you would have had to have read the book and know which character to look out for watching the trailers to know that. And if you're already doing that, it's not really a spoiler.
Exactly. You already know.
So I love how H was presented. I love her reactions when Artemis was introduced and like the jealousy that was happening. Like, how do you know? And she's this. Chuck was hilarious. The reference of he could be an 80-pound or I don't know, overaged, overweight man, sitting in his computer parents' basement. Yeah, you know, like that whole thing, which is funny. It's a joke against gamers and that whole stereotype. Sure, it's layered, but anyway, it was funny. Yeah, the other, I mean, so the guy who played Sorrento was adequately slimy. He was the guy from Rogue One. That's right.
Yeah, so he was the bad guy in Rogue One. Well, he's going to be He's going to be not stereotype. He's going to be typecast as villains, you know, for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
And then I loved the way that they wove IROC into the story, because IROC was a character in the books who only had like a minimal role to play.
Yeah.
And but I loved how they expanded his character in the movie, and the actor who played him was funny.
T.J. Miller. Yeah,
there was a great line in there, and I know it's not the most family friendly thing, but he said something about like more something than hose on Santa.
Oh, that was H's. That was H.
I'm pretty sure that was IROC who
really?
said that. Yeah, I'm like 90% certain it was IROC who said that, but it was great.
Yeah, it was really fun.
So yeah, okay, all right. Now, do you want to give your impressions as to how you think it lined up with the book?
Yeah, I think let's do that. So it didn't line up with the book a lot. It did a lot of royalties. They changed all the keys and the gates and their competitions, like you said, the hunt. I think they did not do a setup of what the Oasis is very well. If you introduce this movie to someone who's not already read the book or who's not already inundated with gaming culture, I know it's not written for them, but I feel like there could have been maybe 5 to 10 minutes of more content just kind of fleshing out what Oasis is.
I agree, and I don't think I agree, but for different reasons. I think I agree that they did not set the world up very well, but it wasn't. I think everyone gets the VR thing. Like everyone gets that it's VR. And so that's not too
some
hard.
Of the way items work in video games.
Yeah,
they didn't explain that at all.
They didn't
You're
explain
just like
the
walking
artifacts.
through a store. And he's like buying stuff, and
Yeah.
then like picking up these level 99 artifacts that are super hard to find. And there's enough out there for everyone to discover. But anyway, the whole like inventory management kind of thing was just kind of blown over.
But not just that, they didn't really do a good job of explaining like the Sixers and why the Sixers, like they did like a quick montage explaining why the Sixers were bad and why you shouldn't like them, but nowhere nearly in depth in the same way as in the books. They didn't really talk about why the characters, you know, choose to play as solo players as opposed to join up in clans, which is a huge dichotomy in the book. And really important by the end of the story. They didn't really describe what the scoreboard was. Like the scoreboard is like a central image in they always are talking about the scoreboard in the book. The scoreboard, check the scoreboard. He always does like the author is always making a point to, you know, reference who's where on the scoreboard and how many points they have, and and that's a really important part. They barely touched on it. It was just like they just showed it. They never showed the changes. They never showed the fact that the Sixers take over the scoreboard at the end and all that stuff. Like,
oh wow, I forgot about that.
None of that was present.
I also think that they didn't explain the motivation for the general public, the masses of everyone, to be in that world. Yeah, they didn't tie that livelihood together. Like they didn't even show the school systems and the education that kids were getting.
Yes, that was super disappointing because that was so important to Parzival's character. And again, like they introduced him as this like, oh, he's already a successful badass in this world. Whereas in the book, like, he starts from nothing. Like, they made a point that he didn't have enough money to get off of the planet with the schools. Yeah. So he couldn't level up. He couldn't do any of these cool things. And, you know, spoilers, he finds the first gate happens to be on the planet with the schools. So that's how he ends up succeeding, as he solves the puzzle of the first gate. Like, no, he just walks in and he's like already doing races and stuff, and like already has all this stuff and gear and stuff like that, and it just kind of ruins the journey that character takes over the course of the story. And considering he's the main character, like, I don't feel like Parzival really went on a journey. Like, and the same is true for Artemis. I don't think the character development was really shallow in this movie. Yeah.
There was definitely, like you said, the hunt was thinned out, and so you have the hunt being thinned out, but you also have the character development being thinned out too, and kind of shallowized. I also think where it did line up with the book is a really fast read. It's compelling, and you want to constantly turn pages, but it's also, I would like the reading difficulty of Harry Potter, so you can just blow through it and get everything out of it. And that's kind of how the movie felt too.
Yeah.
I mean, books are always going to be way more fleshed out than any movie ever.
For sure.
I mean, with the exception of maybe Lord of the Rings extended editions or The Hobbit, where they just went nuts. But like, movies are short, fast, 2 hours, 3 hours tops, and you're fitting an entire novel into it. Yeah. So where they did make cuts to make it seem faster, I think they did line the pacing of the movie with the pacing of the book.
Sure. And a lot of I agree that a lot of the gates and stuff, the gates and the keys would be unfilmable.
Yeah, exactly.
Completely unfilmable. Like, how would you film a character like living through the War Games gate and stuff like that? Like,
without just taking a War Game scene and pasting.
So it's much better to see King Kong attacking people in a car chase. That was way cooler. I also thought that they did a really good job. What makes the book fun is the homage to the 80s culture. You're always like, he's paying tribute to 80s culture. I feel like the movie did the same thing, but with video game culture. There were so many great video game references, and I thought that was pleasant because though the book does a good job of it too, like the book also emphasizes so much about movies and music from the 80s as well, whereas the movie was like, no, we're really gonna,
lean in on the games.
They're really leaned in on the games, and it was a treat for someone who's a gamer, and many of our listeners are would identify as gamers or people who like playing video games. I think you will enjoy it as well for that reason. Like getting to go in there, like there was a Borderlands reference, there were Overwatch references, Chun-Li was in there, Chocobos. Like, I loved just sitting through the credits. There was no post-credit scene, but we sat through the credits anyways, and at the end it was like special thanks to, and it was just a list of video game developers that just went on and on and on. I thought that was very, it made me smile, it made me laugh. So I really did enjoy it. I will probably see the movie again and get kind of second impressions.
Yeah, I'd love to.
But in the meantime, I don't think my wife saw it because we all saw it together. We had a guys' night, and my wife is gone for the weekend, so I'll probably go sit down and see it with my wife. Yeah, and just kind of like see what her thoughts are, and then kind of mull on it myself a little bit more. But I will just double down on the fact that I think that what was disappointing most, I think, was just how little they kind of captured of the hunt, and they didn't even really explain what Gunters were and like why Gunters. And so, but it's fine. It was still fun. A lot of things
just breezed over.
Yeah, it was still fun. It was enjoyable. So
it was cool because visually they gave you all the gaming references. It was very gaming heavy, but a lot of the music and a lot of the smaller references were the 80s stuff. Yeah, and I still feel like it felt like Back to the Future. The whole tonally and feeling of the movies was very 80s. Yeah, and then with the music weaved in, the classic rock. Well, I don't know. It's classic rock now to me because it's 30 years ago. Is the 80s, but it was cool.
It definitely counts as classic rock.
Yeah. So they still had like the 80s, but it took. All of that pop culture took the back burner to the gaming stuff. Yeah. That was like very visual up front. Yeah. So it's still cool. I like that they did that.
So, Penguin gives it a 6 out of 10.
And I give it an 8 out of 10. That's Termite's
So,
score.
If you add them up and divide by
2, 15 divided by 2, 7.5.
7.5 out of 10
there
is what the 80-bit Podsmash score is. Well, let us know what you guys think. I know many of our Podsmashers skipped the preview episode because they hadn't read the book and they wanted to see it. Yep. So listen to that, then listen to this mini episode where we review it, and then let us know what you guys think. Let us know if it was the worst movie ever and you want to poop on it, or if it was the greatest video game movie you've ever seen. So hit us up, let us know. Otherwise, we'll see you this week.
That's right.
Or the Monday after you listen to this.
That's right.
Because this is completely bonus
and it
content.
will be a way sooner release from the time that we recorded.
All right. Have a good rest of your life, Pod Smashers.